You done did it good! Oh my god, guys. Let's fucking talk Star Wars! Oh, fucking shit! Hell fucking yes! Oh, yes! Let's fucking talk Star Wars! Alright, guys. This fucking thing is so fucking cool! Check this out. Turns those off, then it turns this one off. Oh, so good, so good, so good, so good. Basically, the movie, so good. Thank you, J.J. Abrams, for saving Star Wars. George Lucas created Star Wars, and then he destroyed it. Let's be honest with the prequels, but oh my god, I'm so fucking excited. Go out and see this film right now. If you don't see the film, you're not my fucking friend anymore. We are over. We are done professionally, and our friendship is over. No, I love Star Wars so much, and I'm so glad to see them not completely fuck it up. Now, there are some things that I would like to talk about, but that's going to be for the spoilers only video, and I'm going to give you guys some time to watch the movie yourselves before I make that video. So give me 2 or 3 days before we can have this intense full discussion where we can nitpick, we can argue, we can go crazy with it. But for right now, this is going to be a spoiler-free review. Now, I originally filmed this review with OtherJoe and Delrith. Unfortunately, our audio was completely fucked up, half of it missing. It just wasn't right. So I'm going to do this video in a vlog review form and give you my thoughts on the movie. And then when we do the spoiler extended discussion, we're going to bring everybody back and talk in depth about this new Star Wars universe, this next generation of Star Wars that it was done amazingly. So, obviously, go out and see the film. I highly approve of it, and you'll get my final verdict and my thoughts right now. So let's talk Star Wars. Holy shit. Star Wars is back. It's back to its true form. This does the original films justice. Is it better than the original films? No. Is it better than the prequels? 1,000 times. It is so good, guys. Go out and see it. I don't know where to begin. I'm overwhelmed with how happy I was with the film, aside from some few flaws, which we will talk about. But the acting was superb. I don't know if the general acting craft and new actors coming from these actors that I don't know, coming out of nowhere, who played Rey and Finn, are just acting as itself as an art form is getting easier and better to do. But my god, all the nuances and Rey's performance and Finn's performance on their face, everything is just superb acting. You actually believe that they're in these situations. These things are happening to them, around them. You could see the emotions on their face. These two actors are fucking amazing. You couldn't have cast better leads than these two. And oh my god, Han Solo and Chewbacca steal the fucking show. They carry this film when this film didn't need to be carried. This film's already riding high, and then Han Solo and Chewbacca ride it even higher. Han steals the show. He is so fucking good in this film at reprising his role as Han Solo, Harrison Ford, and it's just... It's not like he forgot how to play him. It's just perfect. It perfectly picks up from where you think Han would be from 30 years from now. One thing that really surprised me was the humor in the film. This is the funniest Star Wars, and not funny in a bad way like George Lucas's fucking Jar Jar Binks and all his fucking baby bullshit. No, this was funny in all the right story beats where it was appropriate, and they never missed it. Every single one was amazing. This film is fucking fantastic. So acting was superb. The cinematography, oh my God, all the shots, the cinematographer, the shots were set up perfect. I could see what the fuck is happening. The action is clear. Explosions look so beautiful and amazing. The locations, all of the locations are perfectly picked that give you this equal amount of harkening back to the originals. This Jakku location reminds you a ton of Tatooine, the origins of Luke Skywalker, yet we see the origins here of Ren and Finn on this desert-like planet. And then later on, we see lush green, and Rey, as a character herself, is so shocked by how green it is. She didn't think this was possible because she's been stuck on a fucking desert planet her whole life. She goes, this green, lush planet is fucking beautiful. The background, they're talking, and I'm distracted by the background because it's done so fucking well. So the locations is amazing. The art design in the film, everywhere, everything looks. The new TIE fighters. I have a new fucking TIE. Oh, this thing is fucking beautiful. It's a perfect extension of the way the TIE fighters should be upgraded. They don't go, oh, well, we got the fucking, it looks like an H, let's make it look like a fucking L and W now. No, it's a fucking TIE fighter, and it is evolved and advanced exactly in the way, and then they got the people in the back. They can shoot the fucking guns, and the fucking, how do you shoot these guns? Yeah, and the fucking X-Wing looks amazing. The new design of the X-Wing harkens back to the original design of the X-Wing, and so it evolves perfectly. I was disappointed we don't see any Rebel capital ships. We'll have to talk about that later, but the Imperial capital ships look so good. This fucking First Order Stormtroopers, I'm in love with their design. I want that costume. It looks great. Captain Phantasma, although her role in the film is pushed to the side, she's not in this film very much, but when her design looks amazing, and I'm sure she's going to factor in to episode 8 and 9. The only thing is, I think the Resistance, they're sort of designing their soldiers. You see maybe for a few frames, and they're moving too fast, you see a battalion of soldiers walk by as we cut to the Resistance base, and I couldn't quite see them. There's no clear picture of the actual foot soldiers, except for some of the militia that you see, but I'm talking about the heavy soldiers. I really want to see what those guys look like, but they're, of course, the Rebels have never looked as cool as the Empire. The Empire is perfect. The officers look great. They have fucking flame troopers. They have fucking officers. There's red squad, white squad, black squad. If you look very closely, there's vibro blade soldiers now that makes for this fucking fantastic fight. That if they ever run, it makes sense. If they ever run into sword users or lightsabers, that something the First Order might be scared of, they would have soldiers that can do something about that and fight in close combat. And so I can't speak enough about how fucking amazing the film was in terms of its looks, its practical effects. Practical fucking effects. Do you see the fucking difference, George? George, do you see the fucking difference between fucking mush on the screen, just fucking CGI, and they turn this mush into muscle, okay? Actual, real shit. Okay, there's only two CGI characters, actually two CGI characters and one and a CGI monster. And towards the middle of the film, that encounters with Han Solo and ties into that story. But all of these CGI characters, in fact, there's so many practical effects in this that the CGI starts to look out of place, the CGI characters. Maybe they should have gone with actual actors for these particular things, though you couldn't do it for the monster. The monster's fine. But maybe they should have gone with practical there. But it is such an appropriate use of CGI where it needs to be that I'll give it a pass on those two characters. And we'll talk about those in the spoiler section. But oh my god, I'm out of breath. I just got back from a second showing of the film. I saw all these little things that I didn't see before. I highly recommend go back and see it. If you've already seen it once, go back and see it again. It's basically everything is perfect in looks and sound. You've got the classic sounds with some new sounds. You've got John Williams' score, but I will admit that at least in this film, John Williams' score is a little further in the background. There are some great moments that I can't talk about where the music swells and it's so good. But I'm gonna have to say that one of the better thing about the prequels is Ewan McGregor and the soundtrack. Duel of Fates and John Williams again did great there. Here it's very muted, sort of in the background, so the action takes center place and you focus on these characters. The music is probably originals, prequels, and the music in this film, and hopefully the music will get better and he'll come up with some fantastic tracks. But the look, the sound, the music, perfect. Absolutely appropriate for 30 years or so, or whatever it is, after Return of the Jedi. Oh my god. Basically, also the pacing, the opening shot. A lot of people really criticize the opening shot of Star Wars films because of how good A New Hope opened, and everything was conveyed in one shot, and then the robots on Tatooine get stranded, and the world is set up, just so much world building, and the world building is here. We get world building, we get little creatures not done, it's sort of done in a kind of a funny way, but not insulting funny, where George is putting a bunch of CGI mush in your face while characters are trying to talk. You got things, none of that shit. It's all done very appropriately in the way the same originals did it, because there was that kind of little few silly things here and there in the originals done right. And that's all taken care of here in this film. And so the opening scene in this film is great. It really sets up the Kylo Ren character. He uses his force power on an actual laser bolt. This is something we've not seen. Freezes the laser bolt in midair, and he's so intimidating. It's like this Darth Vader presence. When he rolls in, oh shit, this is the fucking villain. We're scared of this fucker, and shit's gonna go down. And then it rolls into meeting Rey and Finn, and them hooking up, and the sequences are just great. The tone of the film is so good. The pacing is good, though I do think the pacing was a little breakneck. There was never any of those really sort of calm down, reflective moments in the film like there were in the originals, like Luke looking out at the multiple suns and none of that kind of stuff too much. So I'm hoping we get more of that in episode 8 and 9. But it was still superb. Basically, the acting of Finn and Rey and Han stealing the show makes this film worth going to see alone. The graphics seamlessly integrating. This is the first time we start to get to see a little bit of atmosphere combat. In Star Wars, we've seen wars amongst the stars, between capital ships battles, and so they gave us something fresh this time, atmosphere battles, and so that was really great. Okay, so that's the glowing stuff. Everything that I just said: acting, cinematography, a story, look, tone, feel, pacing. It's great. Go out and see it. But let's now talk about some of the things that we can talk about that the film didn't get so right, or that got a little wrong. Well, there's two main factors that weaken the film, but don't take away from it enough to where you shouldn't go and see it. These are criticisms you're probably going to see a lot, and over the years, as years pass, they're going to be more prominent. You're going to see them once you're done fanboying like I am, but I see them already. One is the film definitely, as everybody has said this online, it follows Star Wars A New Hope way too closely. It literally is almost copy and paste. The story beats from the original Star Wars. It's almost exactly what happens in this film. You have an overwhelmingly powerful evil empire. I have no fucking clue how this happens. This really pisses me off. How they go from winning the fucking war in Return to Jedi to the state that they are in this film doesn't make any fucking sense, and it needs explanation, and they shouldn't have done it like this. There should have been a little bit more Senate scenes. Nobody wants boring Senate scenes, right? But there should have been at least 1 minute of it or something, setting up, the actual Republic and how they are on top. But no, it's completely, you're like, why are they called the Resistance? They're the fucking Resistance? Resistance against what? You fucking won. You are on top. And the First Order is a remnant of the Empire. They're not this powerful. They shouldn't have been this powerful, but it was a Deus Ex Machina. It was a sort of retcon rewrite and a cop-out so that they could do the story beats from the original film. Death Star, they got Star Killer Base. You've seen it in the trailers. It's not a spoiler, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's basically the same thing, minus one new plot element that has to do with family. I'm not going to say anything more. So basically, it is A New Hope with another family plot in there, a different family plot. Sorry, I'm coughing in between here. But, so that was one weak point in the film because being such a huge fan of Star Wars, I kind of predicted what was going on, and we're watching some of the same stuff, and although it's amazingly done, and in places done better, in other places not done better, it was like, why did they go in this direction? And I understand it. After the disaster of the prequels were, they said, let's play it safe and let's, copy and do mostly the first film. So I'm going to give it a pass on that too. It's not too huge of a deal, and you can still enjoy the film. So it stays very closely to the first film. The second thing that it kind of hurts is the villains, the villain motivations, the villain characterizations, and the villain casting. The light side, the resistance, the republic, the alliance, whatever you want to call them, almost all the characters, every single fucking one of them are cast perfectly. In fact, I have a theory that the three new characters are basically Luke Skywalker from A New Hope. Just three different aspects of Luke Skywalker's personality. You've got the guy who is an amazing fighter pilot, and Poe Dameron in this film is a fucking badass. There's a sequence that I don't want to ruin. It's all one continuous shot, and you get to see him go to fucking town. He shoots out fucking... Oh, I'm not going to say anymore. It's great. It's worth the price of admission alone right there. I've actually counted how many he killed. 9. But that's not all. There's more stuff, so I didn't ruin anything. Okay, and so he's got the pilot aspect, but it's kind of all he is. And then you've got the sort of good-hearted aspect. You've got the Finn character, who is not necessarily the best with a blaster. He's not a smuggler. He's not a Jedi. He's this or that. He's not into it. He's just this guy that was a part of the First Order, knew that what he's doing is wrong, and wanted to get away from that. And has a good heart. So you have the character with a really good heart, and then you got the third aspect of Luke's character, which I can't talk about. I don't want to spoil anything, and we'll talk about it in the spoilers. And what is another huge part of Luke, you should know. So basically, the light side casted perfectly, great characterizations. The dark side and the First Order, not so much. So starting with Captain Phasma, no fault to her because she's just not in the film very much, and we'll see more of her later on. But there is some one or two scenes with her that's great. Now, where the two that I mainly had problems with is the general of the First Order. I did not buy this guy at all. In fact, he gives this very rousing speech to his troops. And his rant against the resistance and the republic, and I just didn't buy it. I was kind of snickering a little bit just because of the way he looks, how young he is. He's just not convincing as this general. How did he get that position? I don't buy him. I think he was miscast. Some kid, I don't want to say he's red-headed guy. He's he's just not buyable. You've got suddenly a ginger is running the entire Imperium. No, I was playing. But I just didn't buy him as that role. He was too young, unconvincing. I just don't think he was right for the general. In fact, as he's giving the speech, look at the guy directly behind him. That's who the general should have been. It was a much it was an older guy, and I believe he had facial hair, and he's an older guy, and he, to me, is a convincing general instead of the general that we got. And then finally, and we've heard this in stuff before, is Supreme Leader Snoke It's a stupid fucking name. They should have just renamed him the Emperor. There are several points in the film where they talk about Snoke. If it would have been Emperor, the Emperor has done this, the Emperor, the new Emperor. Just call him new Emperor for the first time, and then later on, just call him Emperor. And it would have been, all the dialogue would have been so much more impactful instead of taking me out of it. The stupid fucking Star Wars naming stuff. Sometimes they hit them, sometimes they don't with these ridiculous names. And Snoke as a character is completely CGI. We know that Andy plays that, the same one that played Goldum, and while it's interesting, his character, and it's going to be kind of confusing and maybe a little difficult to see how he's going to factor in here in combat, especially if they go after him or something. It's going to be really interesting. So I'm not ready to say completely no, I don't like this character, but I will say that he pales in comparison to the Emperor. You know, he just says, "So be it, Jedi." You know, the the Emperor, I fucking love. He pales. This guy, he just pales in comparison to the Emperor. So be it, Jedi. Oh, I'm afraid the shield generator will be quite operational by the time your friends arrive. Oh, man, I fucking love the Emperor. I love all of his fucking lines. I can't do a good Emperor impression on command. I will try to in the future. Maybe I'll put in a better impression and erase this part. But I just fucking love the Emperor. He just doesn't live up to the Emperor, basically. And calling him the new Emperor might have helped a little bit for me. So yeah, those are the only two things I think really that held back the film from the highest rating it could possibly achieve, is some of the villains and the villains and the staying so close to the story beats that you can almost predict everything from A New Hope. Now, don't get me wrong, you can nitpick this film to fucking death. And I can do it. And we will maybe get a little bit into it. I can talk Star Wars for days. And you can nitpick the fuck out of this. And I'm sure people are going to start to nitpick the fuck out of it. And does it deserve it? Yes or no? But maybe just keep this in mind as people start to pick this thing apart, because I've got notes upon notes of where I can pick it apart. Just realize they do it with love. The film is so great, so amazing, that some of these parts stand out and we want to talk to them so that maybe they hear the feedback and then they can sort of incorporate it into episode 8 and 9. So I cannot wait to talk more about those with you and my personal opinion, but I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. Finally, I'll end on two anecdotes that I had. So as I was buying these sabers, it was so cool, because I was, by the way, the Disney Store sabers are half as cheap as the Toys R Us sabers, and they're way better in terms of the design, the quality, and this one has a rumble feature while you'll hold it against another saber. Anyway, but the story is, as I was in the Disney Store line waiting to buy that saber, there was a person in front of me who there was a couple in front of me who were buying a bunch of Finn figurines, and there was a couple in front of that who were buying a bunch of Rey figurines, and the couple that bought the Rey figurines had a little girl running around, and she was so into Star Wars, and you can tell, and she grabbed the little figure, the little box, and she was excited that she was playing around with Ren, and what you get to see Ren, how her character unfolds in this film. It's so amazing to know that little girl is now going to have this character to look up to in the same way that I looked up to characters like Luke and Yoda, and even the evil characters sometimes, Vader and stuff. And so now she's going to have a character that she can identify with, and as I was talking about the couple behind them, and they were African American, and they were buying all the Finn toys. I don't know if it was a coincidence, but the same thing with the couple in front. And their little boy was running around. He grabbed the sabers and he was playing around with Darth Vader's saber. So it was just so fun to see this next generation of Star Wars fans, and maybe that's part of the reason why the story beats were so damn close. It's more of them playing it safe, I think, because they didn't want to fuck it up, which is going to be really interesting when they move to 8 and 9 if they do fuck it up, because they have to try to do something different instead of A New Hope with a little bit of Empire Strikes Back of an ending. But to see this new generation take a hold of these characters, and let's talk a little bit about the diversity, because obviously there are some fucking disgusting privileged fucking idiots on the internet complaining that there's a black guy in the movie, complaining that the fucking women are in the movie, and I hate that the women are a lead character. There are shitty people out there like that, especially on the internet, when they can remain anonymous and just talk shit on the internet. But I think it was so fucking cool. Finally, we have an uber badass fucking heroine, almost a super heroine. Before, the Marvel movies and the DC movies got around to their female superheroes, Star Wars here has done it first. A character that's not over-sexualized, a character that has an arc and goes through the arc and that you believe and that you care for because she's such a good actor in these situations and how she reacts in these situations. It's fucking fantastic to know that little girl, she has an option now instead of just buying all the princess shit, because there was so much fucking princess shit there. She was completely disinterested with it, wanted that action figure, and was even playing around with the lightsaber. So to me, that's super fun and super exciting. And same thing with the Finn character. It's interesting to see minorities finally get their fucking due in Star Wars, even though actually in the originals they had, Lando Calrissian and a lot of minorities, though no Hispanics. Though Plinkett points out, I love Plinkett's reviews. He points out the Lando's friend who goes, he's like that, and they have blacks, they have Asians, they have Hispanics, and then he shows I was like, God damn it, Plinkett! Don't say that those are the Hispanics. Because there's no Hispanics in this film. We get African American, we get Asians, a lot more Asians. We get Irish, we get Australian, we get English, we get everybody. We get female leads, but we don't get no Hispanics, except for we do get one Hispanic. And now he's an X-wing pilot, and he's going, God damn it, give us some Latinos in here, please. Oh no, Poe is Latino. Oh, thank God, the best fighter pilot. I can't believe I forgot him. Okay, so I think his actor is Guatemalan. I don't know what he is in the actual Star Wars universe, but anyways, so look, the diversity. I just wrapped it all up. I do get somebody. So, oh my gosh, it's so great to see the diversity. We've come on, guys. Come on, white guys. We've had fucking 6 films. The prequels are pretty much all white guys, and so it's good to spread the love. And now everybody, it's like a fucking family now. Everybody can join in Star Wars and have their own characters and shit. It's fucking great. I am so excited for more of these films. I can't, and it's a nervous excitement because this film was so close to the original that they kind of leaned on that really hard. Let's admit it. They fucking leaned on it hard. But and how much credit is going to J.J. Abrams versus all the other people that worked around and the writers, the screenplays, the graphics, the artists, everything. I guess we're gonna find out in 8 and 9 when they have to get more ambitious, because they're not gonna do Empire Strikes Back, a remake of that in the next film. People will catch on. They're not gonna do Return of the Jedi in the next film. They're gonna keep, one thing we know they're gonna keep is this family theme, just like the original prequels. So, oh my God, I'm so excited for more Star Wars. I cannot wait to share with you pages and pages and pages of notes that can only go into the spoiler talk. But, boy, shit. The Starkiller base, though, we could talk a little bit about how that, doesn't make any fucking sense. Empire, at the height of the Empire, they were making Death Stars. There's no way that the Alliance didn't notice that the First Order hollowed out a fucking planet. Where's all that rocks going and shit? And they can fucking... Jesus Christ, harness the powers of the sun. So how, oh my God. Anyway, we're gonna save it for the spoilers, and that's it for this review. Go out and see Star Wars. What do I rate it out of 10? Well, I'm gonna bring it down. calm down, because you can't go fanboy on the rating too much unless it's Superman. No, unless it's Superman or Star Wars, and it is Star Wars. So I know it's not a 10 out of 10 because the things that I mentioned, the villain characterization and cast, some of the casting, the story beats playing a little too safe for my taste, and as a fan of the lore, I was a little bit upset with how they hand wave some of it. Hand wave the Alliance being so weak and turning into the Resistance immediately. Hand wave how you get Luke Skywalker's saberback. Hand wave a lot of these things. And there were tons and tons and tons of questions and flashback scenes. Not flashback scenes, but like visions that were not explained. And they are definitely saving for this franchise where we're going to get one new fucking Star Wars every fucking year. And you felt a little bit, just a little bit of how that is affecting even the first film. So how long is this gonna last? This fucking awesome feeling gonna last before we start to go, okay, come on? I don't know. But so factoring in those negatives while understanding that this is a superb film in every single aspect of filmmaking, it's not a 10 out of 10. I'm sitting at about an 8 or 9, and boy, it's probably going to take me a third viewing because I take Star Wars so seriously. Kylo Ren as the character is going to get you that either you're gonna like him and you're gonna think that, oh, that's a good villain, or you're gonna say, I don't fucking like this guy, he ruins it or makes it less for me. And I know the potential for 8 and 9 can be even greater than the first one. I'm going to have to end on an 8 out of 10. And I know Joe's rating from the previous film that got lost, and he was at a 9 out of 10, so that you know. But I'm at an 8 out of 10 right now. But we'll talk some more in the spoilers so you can understand. Anyway, super long video, but it's Star Wars. I can talk about it all day. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Go out and see Star Wars and fucking do this thing. Don't look at the comments. I'm telling you this at the end of the video. You've already looked at the comments. Don't look at the comments. I may even disable comments for the first time on the Angry Joe Show just so that you don't get any spoilers. But damn it, I want to see what you guys say. Fuck. Okay, don't go into the comments unless you've already seen the film, because there will be spoilers in the comments. I'll put like a little warning or something at the beginning of the video. Okay, guys? Thank you so much. And go out and fucking see this film. Support it. Let's make it make a ton of money, because Disney did technically save Star Wars from the clutches of mediocrity and shittiness, and now we're gonna get a lot of them, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Right now it's a good thing, and so let's support that, guys. Okay, Angry Army, go out there and see this film. Badass seal of approval. That's what I'm giving it. Badass seal of approval. 8 out of 10, and looking forward to more. Okay, see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. So be it. All right.